Hello there, Lisa Fitzgibbon here from Project 7 and welcome to our check-in service. So this is where we're going to hook up with our previous headline producers and our alumni from all around the world. We're going to find out where you are, what you're doing, what you're working on, how you're doing it, that kind of thing. Anyone who's been to one of our Project 7 events knows what an intensely challenging and rewarding week it can be, where forever friendships are made and creative connections that last are created. And this is the check-in service. So we're going to try and put everyone together so we can hook you up with your Project 7 kin. And today we're checking in with multi-award-winning legendary music producer, fine artist, songwriter, remixer, bass player, and Project 7 headline producer, Youth. One of the UK's most influential recording professionals with a staggering 20 million records sold worldwide, Youth has produced numerous hits from artists including The Verb, Embrace, Echo and the Bunnymen, Crowded House, The Orb, Sir Paul McCartney and The Charlatans. As an artist, he is renowned for founding the influential art punk band Killing Joke, defining ambient house and chill-out music and bringing these genres firmly into the mainstream. A respected painter and published author, Youth has blazed his own trail with an amazing career that continues to inspire future generations of musicians and artists. Hello, Youth. It's Lisa Fitz here, checking in. How's it going?
Hi, Lisa. Very good, thanks. Yeah, great.
Where are you? Where are you?
I'm in Andalusia, Spain, at my studio, Space Mountain. Just in the foothills of the Sierra Nevada mountains.
Amazing. And you're there on your own.
I am solo and in isolation, indeed. Yeah.
Sounds great.
It is. Yeah, I'm enjoying it. Yeah.
So tell us all, what are you working on at the moment? What's keeping you busy?
Okay. So, yeah, keeping busy is quite important, anyway, but especially now, I think. So, I've got some advantage in that I can DJ. I can do it off my laptop, and I've set up a deck and a little mixer. So, getting some sets together, doing a long 6-hour set, that was a big release. I've been doing some mixes and remixes for different artists. One for a band of Holy Joy, which is more like a radio mix, and one for this band called Union of Knives, which is like a remix dance record. Mm-hmm. And then some meditation music for Manika Kaur, who's a Sikh devotional singer. I did an album with her that came out actually just as the isolation kicked in. It kind of went down really well with a lot of people because it's very meditative, it helps you sleep, it's good for all sorts of things. And that was really nice. I've been following that up with another one. That was going really well until I started putting these sort of trap beats on it and stuff, which you kind of went a bit quiet after that. And I've now been told by a manager to, should rather it be more
Chill it out a little bit.
I do a regular DJ spot with Alex Patterson from The Orb once a month, the Cosmic Odyssey set. For his internet radio station, WNBC. And so we've been doing that in isolation. So I get a set recorded here and then I send it to him. That comes out on the new moon. And that's been really inspiring. I've been going quite deep with that. The other thing that's been really getting me going is indulging my passion for 80s curated sample-based hip-hop. Sampling up some of my favourite artists, Curtis Mayfield, Isaac Hayes, old soul rare groove things, and then putting different beats to them and doing kind of like acid hip-hop remixes to them. And then I've been trying to do, we were talking earlier about remote production. My old colleague and friend Timmy B's done a good blog on that recently, I recommend. Mm-hmm. But it's tricky doing the remote thing. I was supposed to do it with this young band, and they weren't all in the same. If they were all in the same room, and I was on this room, or we were on Zoom, I could probably do it. But the drummer was somewhere else, and the guitarist was somewhere else. There are 3 different spots, and the drummer didn't have his drums. Mm-hmm. So And even then, it's tricky. What's tricky about that is the actual the subtleties of the communication within the group and with you interacting with them are so subtle. I mean, they're so fine. It's a raised eyebrow, whatever, and how you read that in the room can often determine whether those ideas are going to work or not.
Absolutely.
Or whether
it's
you're
really
going
tricky.
to be there the next day, you know.
Yeah, totally.
You can't get that kind of detail off a small little screen.
But I think it's different though when you're mixing, because you're doing a lot of mixing at the moment for some clients.
Normally the artist wouldn't be there at the mix, and they'd hear it afterwards and then send their emails of suggestions anyway. So that's not such. It's more if I'm doing a production with a new band, I've not worked with them before. I really want to work with them. They're amazing. I don't want to blow it by making the wrong suggestions or not reading what they're actually needing me for while we're there, because we're doing it remotely and you're a little further step.
So let's talk a little bit about your painting, because you're an accomplished visual artist as well. Do you want to tell us about your inspiration for that? I mean, it's one of your pictures behind you here, isn't it?
Yeah, the painting. I mean, when I was at school, I had a couple of good teachers. And I was, for a while, I was at a boarding school near where you are in Kingham, which was an old Quaker school. Anyway, we were isolated up there, a couple of hundred kids. And I had this great art teacher, David Carpanini, and he'd always, I'd do double art twice a week. He'd always let us bring records in and play records while we painted.
Awesome.
So, yeah, it was really amazing thing for me. I really loved it. And he didn't really give you too much direction or guidance. He'd just come up and encourage you a bit, I love that. I learned a lot from him, actually. And so I always started associating painting with listening to music. And also, when I'm making music, I like to draw and sometimes paint. They go together really well. We all like to think we're like these unique, original artists. But, I come from, a kind of hip-hop school of thought where everything we do, we've taken from somewhere else. And that's a kind of blues thing as well. And it's really more about being authentic to that than trying to pretend you're original. And now you get a lot of young artists thinking that I have to be original. But that means not listening to other music, not referencing other artists, just waiting for that divine inspiration to drop in their hands, which it never happens. The more original you try and be, the more of a cliche you end up sounding. And this kind of brings me back to what I'm doing now with my sort of 80s collaged hip-hop thing is I don't have to try and be original. All I have to do is have fun, take those bass lines, put them with those beats and put an Isaac Hayes string on, and I'm in heaven. I'm like, wow, that's the best thing I've ever heard. So all these things, all my paintings are kind of collages of different sources. And at the same time, you're trying to rearrange and put them together in a way that creates a new vocabulary, a new way of looking at the same stuff. And that's what we do. That's what we're trying to do with music. And when we make a great album, when I made Urban Hymns with the Verve, you're going into an authentic perspective of the sources of those things. What you come out with is something that nobody's ever heard of before in a completely unique way. And that, again, is from penetrating the authenticity of the sources and your intention with it.
Is there any piece of advice that anyone's ever given you that stuck with you throughout?
Yeah. Well, of course, I've been very lucky, and I've worked with some incredible artists, and I've been taking notes all the way. And one of the best bits of advice I was given was when I was at this rave, this party in Goa on a beach, and there was about 200 people there, maybe less because it was in the morning. The sun had just come up. I'll set the scene. The sun had just come up and there's this turquoise blue ocean from the Indian Ocean. Dolphins appeared, were doing flips. Just behind the beach was a waterfall which you could climb up, and these naked hippies had climbed up and were bathing under this crystal waterfall. Palm trees, monkeys playing in the trees, and Indian Baba with a cow and a horn wandering around and a big red turban, trying to get some money from the tripped out hippies that were left from the party. And this amazing DJ, I think it was this Italian guy, Leron, who was a legend there. Must have been about 91, maybe 92, quite early on. There were these two guys, Swiss Germans, who were standing just 10 yards from them, and they were kind of wearing like tennis shorts and, sportswear and looking very fresh. And one of them was blowing a whistle along to the music. And my friend Chester said, "Oh, that's really bugging me, man. That guy's bugging me. I'm going to have to say something. He's really bringing me down." And I said, "Look around at the dolphins, the waterfall, 10K rig with this incredible music, the sunrise, He goes, "No, I'm going to have to go and say something." I was like, "All right." So he goes up to this guy and he goes, "Listen, man, can you stop blowing the whistle? It's really bugging me, And the guy just turns on a penny quickly and goes, "The whistle's not the problem. You're the problem." Genius. And I was flabbergasted, so was he. He looked at me, I looked at Chester, and I sort of went, "Fair enough." The message of that actually is, you might think that whistle's bugging you, but actually, if you were focusing more on the music and the dolphins, the whistle wouldn't be the problem. So the problem is you. The problem is always you. Sometimes when you're in a studio and you're doing a production or writing a song and you're like, "Oh man, these people don't understand what I'm doing. They don't get it. They're the problem." Or the engineer's not getting the sound right. But it's not them, because you're producing it, you're writing it. It's how you communicate with them, the vocabulary you use. Once you start to address that and stop blaming other people, blaming things, or technology not right or whatever, once you take it on board, that is all down to you, then, actually only then, can you actually start moving forward. It's like that old Maori saying, "Face the sun and the shadows fall behind you." These are sometimes things we emotionally are afraid of, we tend to run away from, and pretend they're not there. But actually, if you just turn around and look at it, it helps you get there, where you want to be.
So you were a headline producer at Project 7 in 2017, which was an incredible year. We had Ronnie Size, John Fortis and Andrew Levy from the Brand New Heavies. They were on the poster with you. What did you enjoy about being at the Hotel Peli Rocco with us and doing a songwriting retreat?
I liked the way it was, a big buzz and a hive of activity. I mean, that's how I work in London. I have 3 or 4 rooms going at once often, and here in Spain sometimes, and I have 2 or 3 engineers and we're all doing different things. And I love that. And I love being able to go between the different rooms and the different producers, and were doing their thing, and Ronnie Size was putting his beats upstairs, and and it was all buzzing away. And I like that from when you used to work in Olympic and those sort of studios. You could go down the corridor and the door would open, you'd hear Madonna blasting out of one, the Stones coming out of another, and you get to your door, you go, "I better get busy," These guys are doing it, and I've only just turned up, But it was very encouraging and supportive. I like the way everybody got their song written and then they got to perform it at the end of the day. And, and there was a community spirit there. People made some good connections with each other. And they got to experience working with, some international world-class producer writers on their work. So, it was good. It's a good model, I thought. Good fun.
Oh, thank you. Well, hopefully we'll be bringing it to Space Mountain as well. That's the plan.
Yeah, well, you're very welcome here. And this is the most ideally suitable place I can imagine to do something like that. And then, we've done yoga retreats here, all sorts of things. And, of course, we do the Space Mountain Festival here, which is just off the scale as well. The most powerful thing you could do for yourself as an artist is to join or form your own arts lab and start collaborating with other arts labs and put on raves and put on events and get speakers in to talk at them and create art, collectively and together. It's an amazing thing, and amazing things come out of it. don't forget the first Pink Floyd gig was an Arts Lab benefit back in the 60s. And the Arts Labs were pivotal in making that sort of Summer of Love come together.
Okay.
So I'm really kind of pushing Arts Labs at the moment. You can only do so much on your own. You know, nobody's an island. And even though we're all on our own at the moment, you can connect and you can build these communities and collaborate with other communities and do these things that will eventually become amazing, life-changing, wonderful events.
Yeah, and this is the whole reason I started Project 7, exactly for that reason. So what are you listening to at the moment for pleasure? I know you're doing a lot of mixing and you're doing a lot of your own sort of mixing, but if you were to put together a playlist for yourself, what would you listen to?
Well, let's see. I mean, I'm very lucky because I've got a great vinyl collection here. So let me show you a bit of what I've been listening to recently. I tend to listen to some vinyl when I'm having my breakfast. So that's Return to Forever.
Cool.
Korea. That was breakfast. That was quite challenging. Howling Wolf last night. Of course, Captain Beefheart for those challenging moments. That's always good. King Tubby, always a good go-to reference for dub. That's getting a lot of plays. Dirt Wears White Socks, Alan the Ants. Marianne Faithfull, Broken English with the classic Dennis Morris photograph sleeve. I had that sleeve when I was 20. I used to wear on stage with Killing Joke. Amazing picture on the back. An amazing album, very influential for me. It's kind of electronic. This came out in 76 when punk happened.
Right, so I'm going to throw some quick questions at you. You have to tell me what you prefer. You ready?
Okay.
Cat or dog?
Oh, that's tough, isn't it? I mean, I've always had cats. I love cats, but I love dogs as well.
What do you prefer, Youth? What do you prefer?
Yeah, both. I'll have to. I couldn't be like ask me to choose which kid I prefer.
Won't be doing that. Okay, here we go. This is another difficult one. Stones or Beatles?
Same. Well, it's funny, isn't it, that there's a little spat going on between them, which has always been there. But I probably think the Beatles have the edge. I mean, they do have a little bit of a wider spectrum of influences. And they did split up early, which gives them that kind of complete, perfect legacy.
Absolutely. Okay, vodka or tequila?
Ooh, I got a taste for tequila on the Killing Joke Tool tour because Danny Carey, the legendary drummer of Tool, probably one of the best rock, if not the best rock drummer in the world, he makes his own tequila.
Thank you so much for checking in with us, Youth. It's great to see you, and stay safe and happy and healthy out there at Space Mountain.
Thanks, Lisa. I've finally got a flight back at the end of May now, so that may well be cancelled. But if it isn't, then I look forward to coming back. I'm quite happy here anyway, so enjoy your isolation in the Cotswolds and Stroud.
Thank you, darling. Thank you very much.
And see you hopefully next year over here with the workshop. Brilliant.
Yeah, we'll bring Project 7 to you. That'd be great. Just stay there and wait for us.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for checking in, man. Take care.
Okay, ciao.
For more info and to apply to one of our Project 7 songwriting retreats, visit us at project7.com.